What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got another one by Jason Whitlock. Brazil loves Caitlin Clark. Yeah, and of course more than the U.S. and America. Let's listen in on Jason Whitlock.
I want to start with Caitlin Clark. She opened, the Fever opened this weekend preseason exhibition play. Caitlin, I think, missed the first game because of concern about her knee or leg or something, some sort of injury. She played in game two in Iowa last night. I think she scored 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point range. She was typical Caitlin Clark. She hit some like 36-foot three from behind the arc that was incredible. But the real story was how this Brazilian national team that played the Fever, it's the way they received her, the way they celebrated her. It's quite a contrast that these women of color from Brazil and their coach had, as opposed to the American players and American women of color and how they treat Caitlin Clark. So I just want to play you this small clip of the head coach of the Brazilian team and an exchange that he had early on with Caitlin Clark. Play the clip.
Yeah.
How are you? Good, how are you?
You're an amazing player. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're changing the history in
I
basketball.
appreciate it. Thanks for coming here and playing us. Most people you've played in front of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're changing the history of basketball. You're an amazing player. What you're doing is phenomenal. Celebrating Caitlin Clark. Why does someone from Brazil who isn't directly benefiting from what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, why is he celebrating her more enthusiastically than the overwhelming majority of coaches, players in the WNBA?
All right. Yeah. And Jason, I think around the world, Caitlin Clark. I think and what is it? Yeah, I even said this. Hey, if Caitlin Clark, when WNBA season's over, play in Australia. Because if you play in Australia, that league's going to have to move to bigger venues. Now, the likelihood of you doing that is very slim right now, especially early in your career, maybe later in your career, because, yeah, the world will embrace what you're doing, you know not just as an American, but I'm embracing what you're doing. I mean, I have two jerseys. I have a red jersey and a blue home jersey. I'm going to be wearing that when you're playing or when I'm doing a stream on my other channel. So, yeah.
The Brazilian team isn't flying private to games around Brazil or anywhere thanks to Caitlin Clark. WNBA players are, while losing 20, 30, $40 million a year because of Caitlin Clark, they're flying private.
Mhm.
They're being treated as stars and celebrities. They're all riding Caitlin's coattails to television commercials, more money than what they're actually generating. They're being treated as superstars because of Caitlin Clark. But it takes a coach from Brazil and it takes players from Brazil to show Caitlin Clark the kind of appreciation and respect that her play and what she's brought to the table deserves. I'm not saying these guys in the WNBA should kiss Caitlin Clark's butt. But we've seen this before. We saw it with Tiger Woods when he hit the PGA Tour. And it wasn't that the PGA Tour was losing money, but after some very slight initial pushback from a Fuzzy Zeller or maybe a handful of other players, everybody in the PGA Tour fell in line and was like, man, look what Tiger has done for us.
Mhm.
Look at all this new money and attention that's come into the
Oh,
game
yeah.
of golf. because of Tiger Woods. And so they competed against Tiger, but they all respected Tiger. They weren't trying to tear Tiger down. They weren't running around saying, I'm the real reason, or these white men aren't being celebrated enough. They're only interested in Tiger Woods. And this is an indication of racism. No, the men in the PGA Tour was like, this dude's making it rain money over here. I'm making more money. We're all making more money. We're all bigger stars than we ever have been. And they celebrated, respected Tiger, and competed against him at a high level. No one bent the knee and just kissed the guy's butt. There's a way to handle when a superstar shows up, takes your business, your industry to a new level. We saw it with Tiger Woods and the PGA Tour. We're not seeing it in the WNBA.
Yeah, Jason, we know what the WNBA is. Okay, it's the socialist. It's the what is it? The LGBTQ. Nothing wrong with that, but it's their agenda. Beat up Caitlin Clark, and of course she, put some massa on her because she knows it's coming. She knows the beatings are coming. She knows that a lot, and at least she has some teammates that will step up for her. So yeah, the WNBA is what it is. It's just a lot of complaining, a lot of just this crap going on. So yeah, it's really too bad.
We're seeing a bunch of women hate on Caitlin Clark. I want to show you this clip of the Brazilian players after the game lining up to get an autograph from Caitlin Clark. Play the clip. This is after the game. These are women of color that don't have a problem with Caitlin Clark. They actually appreciate what Caitlin Clark has brought to the table. They know that Caitlin Clark has been good to them, and they live in Brazil. They're not a part of the WNBA. It's embarrassing what the American women, the entitled American women, the Yas queens of America, the way they've treated Caitlin Clark. You can call me a groupie for Caitlin Clark. You can say, I'm celebrating white supremacy. I'm just speaking hardcore facts, business facts. I'm talking about gratitude and appreciation. When you receive a blessing, and that's what Caitlin Clark has been to women's basketball. If you can't thank Caitlin Clark, at least thank God. Show some form of gratitude instead of hate. This is what people do not like about WNBA players. They're entitled. We should be paid more, even though our league is losing millions of dollars. We should be paid like men, even though we can barely hit, and I'm talking about Angel Reese, can barely hit layups. Asia Wilson should be the face of the league, even though no one finds her at 6'5" or 6'4" relatable.
And that's where you made the facts there. Relatable. Caitlin Clark, very relatable to a lot of people around the world, especially in America. Very relatable. And that's just not the WNBA. Just not relatable. And if Caitlin goes, the whole fan base is going to be like, all right, I'm going to go watch something else. Yeah, because if Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, again, I said this over and over again, disappears, I'm rolling out unless there's another player like Caitlin Clark that can move this needle, could bring the relatability back. But yeah, and even the world, like you said, Brazilian national team showed, a lot of appreciation. And once she gets on that Team USA, a lot of players gonna be Caitlin Clark. Hey, how's it going? So remains to be seen.
She's not as fun to watch or as exciting as Caitlin Clark, and fans aren't showing up to see Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson should be appreciative rather than Clark doesn't understand her white privilege. Talk about you, Kelsey Plum. You have white privilege and you recognize it, and you realize it's your job to elevate the black women who carry this league to $20 and $30 million in losses every year. No one's paying to see Brittany Griner tatted up and looking like a man. That's just a fact. No one wants to see Angel Reese miss bunnies and layups. That's just a fact. Angel Reese's entire platform is built off of trolling Caitlin Clark. To the ladies of Brazil coming in and showing Caitlin Clark some proper respect. Maybe they'll be role models for the rest of the WNBA. Maybe they'll get it now.
All right. So, So we got all this craziness, and it is what it is now. So looking forward to seeing, 44 games of Indiana Fever. Hope Caitlin Clark makes it through. But she did bulk up. She did prepare. She did everything she could. And WNBA is still going to be, that, antisocial, it just is, and this is what they're going to say. It's a black women's league. It's this, it's that, instead of just a league of basketball players. So that's where we're at. All right. Shout out to Jason Whitlock. And if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video.